Welcome back to KANG TV News. I'm Antonio.
And I'm Kevin. We want to send our well wishes to all the teachers, staff members, admin, and fellow students who are under the weather right now.
We hope you're fully healed and back to school very soon.
We have one more day of remote learning before we return to in-person school. Here's a quick look at next week's schedule. There's no school Monday in observance of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. We're remote on Tuesday, then back in person starting on Wednesday.
Next week's observance to honor Dr. King has been postponed. We'll share the rescheduled date as soon as we know it.
Mark your calendars. Next Thursday, 9th through 11th graders will register for the 2022-2023 school year. Registration will take place during homeroom. If you miss it, a makeup registration session is scheduled for Wednesday, January 26th from 1 to 1:30 in the library.
The College and Career Center is excited to announce they have an Instagram page, LWHS College Career. Give them a follow. Many of you have met our new school resource officer, Kirkland Police Officer Gehrke. But how many of us know what a school resource officer's responsibilities are? Lizzie from KANG TV sat down with Officer Gehrke to learn more.
What motivated you to go from being police officer to resource officer?
So I guess, to start, this is something I've wanted to do for a while. I don't know if I mentioned that when I talked to you guys in the very beginning of the year, but being an SRO is something I've wanted to do for a while, and at our police department it's considered a specialty unit, just like being a detective or a traffic officer, things like that. So it's something you have to sign up for, interview for, and then we get specialized training. So I went to a week-long class in Utah this last summer, and in that class we learned how to interact with students, interview students, work in a school environment, because obviously it's different than talking to suspects and people on criminal calls all day long. So we learn that type of thing, and we learn there's these things called the triad. It's where a police officer, an informal counselor, and a resource, I think, is the third one. I might have to double check, but yeah, we're here to be a resource between students, families, the school, and the community. So
yeah. And so kind of what does your average day look like? What are kind of some things you would do on a normal day?
Yeah, so I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen me standing during passing period around the commons or out in the courtyard, or walking around during lunch, but a lot of things you don't see is what happens when you're in class. I walk up and down the hallways every now and again, and you might see me doing that, but we have 4 SROs in the Kirkland Police Department in the city. Me at this high school, the other high school, and 2 in the middle schools. They split the middle schools. But what we do is we handle CPS calls in the city, that's Child Protective Services, abuse calls involving families, and so if I'm not here, I'm usually at an elementary school in the area, or doing welfare. I do welfare checks on students and families that the school has concerns of, or for whatever reason. And sometimes I even respond to patrol calls if they're super busy during that day, or sometimes I'm the closest officer to a priority incident, so it varies.
Yeah, it's good to know. I think like a lot of students we see around, and you do a lot more than just walk around the halls.
Yeah, and even I talk in classes. I've been in a number of classes, especially health class. I do the drug and alcohol talk, and some government civics classes I've been in as well. So.
Yeah, and I think there's also just a general misconception about resource officers within schools, because we see the uniform and we automatically think you're here to bust people, or just versus it's more of like you're a resource for us.
Yeah.
And more on that, do you feel like there's any kind of stigmas that follow wearing an official uniform or your role?
Yeah, I can see, how people would think, oh, is police officers here to just get people in trouble, or, that's a lot based off public perception about what happens around the country. And, I get certain things happen in different areas, but we're some of the, I'd be willing to bet we're some of the highest trained people in the Seattle area, just officers in general in this area of the country. We have training we are required to take every year that isn't required in a lot of other places. That's new training or things refreshing, like crisis intervention training, people who are dealing with mental health crisis, things like that. And to speak to, crime and that aspect of the job, not a lot of crime happens in school, right? But the example I've used is in the beginning of the year, especially there's a handful of times where students weren't paying for stuff at the grocery store. And can I technically, within the confines of my job and the law, go charge that person with a crime and they'd have to go to court? Yeah, absolutely. But is that the best option for a student, a high school student? No, definitely not. So we take what's called the what was the term I used? Reformative justice? Is that
yeah.
Okay, that's the word I'm trying to use. But we work with the families, the school, the student. Say, yeah, well, it was technically a crime committed, yeah, but we're not going to hang you up. You're not going to have to go to court and stuff like that. We'll work with the school and the store, maybe reimburse them for what was done, and maybe you're not allowed back to the store for a while. And there's other consequences that can be implemented rather than having a crime hung on you or a charge, right?
So I guess, despite, the fact that you're wearing the uniform is so that, you can handle outside calls and so you are prepared and stuff, but the goal inside the school is to be like an approachable person, and you're not here to like get people in trouble, and even if people are in trouble, you're here to get them out of that and
we're here
help
to
them.
Be a resource, as the title implies. So, we're here to bridge that gap between, the community. We're part of the community services unit is what it's called at our department. So we're here to be a part of the community as best we can, and we have more specialized training than the average patrol officer. So,
well, it's really nice to speak with you, and I'm really happy to be able to help kind of break up that stigma and help people find you more approachable, and kind of that's the goal, is to just people come to you and there's not that intimidation.
There is. I can have the appearance, I guess, with all this stuff I wear of being hard to talk to or whatever, but I like to think I'm pretty laid back.
Yes, you're definitely very easzy to talk to.
So, if you see me, come say hey. I love it when people say hey to me in the hallways, or some kids give me fist bumps every now and again, so feel free to say hey, and
well, it's wonderful to have you here,
thank you.
That's back to you.
Thanks, Lizzie and Officer Gehrke. If you haven't met him yet, stop by his office next to the band rooms, or just go up to him during lunch, before or after school, and say hi.
The first Gehrke competition of the year took place Friday in Bellevue. 42 LW students advanced to state. That's the largest number our school has sent.
Congratulations to first place finishers in their events: Maria Strathy, Sanjana Reddy, Millie Joshi, Zoe Boger, and Bree Hewer. Congratulations also go out to Claire Pike for advancing to state in the PTSA Reflections competition for photography. Claire's photograph shows her sister looking like stardust. She says everyone is connected and made of stardust. She wants to change the world by showing people how important they are. Good luck at state, Claire.
The City of Kirkland is offering mini grants to youth and community groups for projects, activities, events, and trainings. The grants range from $100 to $750. You can apply online at the website on your screen. Members of the Kirkland Youth Council review the applications and award the grants. Their next review session is next Friday. Now, here's an abbreviated KSPN sports report.
The girls' basketball games are on hold until next Tuesday, but the boys' teams are still in action tomorrow night at home against Bellevue High School.
The boys' 5 team's next competition is next Thursday at 3, when they host Redmond High School at Juanita Pool.
The boys and girls wrestling teams travel to Interlake High School next Thursday to compete against Interlake and Juanita High Schools.
The girls' gymnastics team's next meet is next Friday at 7 at Redmond, where they'll take on Juanita, Eastlake, and Redmond High School.
The LW cheer and dance team both have competitions this Saturday. The cheer team competes at Skyline High School, while the dance team's competition is at Redmond High School. Good luck to everyone.
That's it for this week's KANG News. Thanks for watching. I'm Antonio.
And I'm Kevin. Have a great 3-day weekend, and
Go Kangs!